Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege to open the second edition of the TMS Transport and Climate Change Conference. I would like to thank you all for being here today. Your presence demonstrates your commitment to sustainability. Big thanks also go to the Maritime Standard for organizing this important event. The United Arab Emirates has played a leading role in addressing climate change. Our country was the first in the Gulf Cooperation Council to ratify the Paris Agreement, the legally binding international treaty on climate change. In 2022, the UAE became the first country in the region to commit to pursuing net zero by 2050. Under the wise vision of our leadership, the COP28 Global Climate Summit, hosted last year under the UAE presidency, put a growing emphasis for the first time on the private sector role in accelerating solutions to the industrial energy transition. COP28 was the first COP where global transport and energy ministers met to discuss ways to align the net zero pathways, transport and energy suppliers to support decarbonization and accelerate the reduction of transport emissions. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change IPCC, the global transport sectors accounts for roughly 23% of all energy-related CO2 emissions. Along with the industry sector, the transport sector has had the fastest rate of emission growth since 1990. Demand for global transport services and forecast to double by 2050, and emissions from the transport sector are on a trajectory to rise unless we act now. We are called on to develop smart, effective solutions as we face the wider challenges of ensuring the financial sustainability of our system, improving our resilience to climate and economic shocks, and readying our sector to accommodate future generations. Climate change is one of the big challenges of our time, and at Abu Dhabi Ports Group, we are committed to tackling this challenge head-on. We have embedded environmental sustainability and decarbonization in our operations, and we are reducing our carbon footprint as we expand and grow. We report Scope 3 greenhouse gas emissions, which is the gold standard of sustainability reporting that measures the full environmental footprint of our own operations, plus those of our clients and suppliers. We work intensively with our business partners to anchor sustainability in our operations. At Khalifa Port, we are partnering with CMA CGM and a biodiversity firm, EcoOcean, to install 48 submerged biohuts that will provide a refuge and breeding ground for marine life at the new CMA Terminal Khalifa Port, which is now under development. CMA Terminal Khalifa Port will also house our region's first net zero carbon administration building to be powered by renewable energy source and offset. Just last week, Abu Dhabi Ports Group signed a memorandum of understanding with our partner at CSB Abu Dhabi Terminal, COSCO Shipping, and 2 other Chinese entities to explore opportunities in the joint development of green energy. Even as we grow, we are managing to lower our carbon footprint. In 2023, we reduced our electricity consumption intensity by 7% and increased the quantity of solid waste we recycled by 174% compared to 2022. As we expand to more than 50 countries globally, we reduced the greenhouse gas emission intensity of our container port handling operations by 2% from 22 levels. This year, we are integrating 5 solar photovoltaic projects in our operations to produce green energy that will mitigate up to 5,000 metric tons of CO2 emissions a year. We are doing trials for an electric-powered tugboat at Khalifa Port, the first company in the region to do so. But we can always do more. We must do more. This is why we all must support the International Maritime Organization and its effort to help the global maritime industry reach net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. We must build industry consensus around strengthening IMO short-term transparency measures to reduce maritime pollution, such as the Energy Effective Existing Ship Index and the Carbon Intensity Indicator, which are being revised. Together, we must make sure we future-proof the transport industry for more sustainable world. It is no longer an option. It is a collective responsibility for all of us. Thank you for your time.